Good morning once again, and thank you for staying tuned to Sunrise at Sea right here on CTV. It's time for our views. My name is Apollo Sarah, and in studio with me are the ladies Uwase Agi and Shivana Uma. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Sarah.
It's quite chilly this morning, isn't it?
Very chilly.
I know.
Very disturbing.
I hate it when it rains in the morning. It just makes me gloomy and
everything.
sad. I hate the rain. I hate the rain. It's only acceptable at night when you're sleeping. But today we are here to discuss something that caught my attention on Twitter. And if you have not caught up with the story, well, it's about a lady called Black China. Well, if you don't know who Black China is, well, she is a model, she's a video vixen, she's a businesswoman, she's an entrepreneur, and she's all these things. So anyway, she took to her social media and she posted this on her Twitter, and she said, "Yesterday I had to give up 3 of my cars, my reasons, morals, beliefs, and being a single mother, no support. I am a mama." She went on to say, "Single, no support, no child support." To which the fathers of her children, that is Tiger, and he's a rapper, he responded to her tweet by saying, "But I pay $40,000 for my son's private school, and he lives with me from Monday to Saturday. Why would I pay you child support?" And then her second father of her child goes on to respond, and this is Rob Kardashian. If you are aware of who these celebrities are, well, Rob Kardashian is the brother to Kim Kardashian and all the other Kardashians and Jenners. And he said, "I pay $37,000 a year for my daughter's school. I handle every single medical expense. I pay for all her extracurricular activities. I have my daughter from Tuesday to Saturday. Why would I pay child support?" Well, Black China, like I said, she is a model. She is a video vixen, an entrepreneur, and actually she is her net worth is over $5 million. Anyway, so one person responded, and that is what is triggering this conversation today, and she's called Astra Say, and she said, "When the other parent is actively in the child's life, taking the child on days off and clothing and feeding the child, is the child support still warranted?" And that is the focus of conversation today. Ladies, if the other parent, doesn't matter if it is the father or if it is the mother, if the other parent is actively present in a child's life and is also still, paying all these day-to-day, bills and whatnot, is child support at the end of the month still guaranteed? But before you answer that question, I would like to define what child support is. Well, child support or child maintenance is an ongoing periodic payment made by a parent for the financial benefit of a child and or parent, caregiver, guardian, or the state following the end of a marriage or similar relationship. So child support is only paid to parents, to one of the other parent after the couple has split. So if the child is living with the father and the mother is, if the father is the primary caregiver, should the mother still continue to pay child support even though she's meeting all these other day-to-day activities, and vice versa? I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Well, first things first, I like the fact that you highlighted what child support is, because then I was going to ask what is child support. But the mere fact that we have seen child support and you have highlighted and said that it is actually money or, funds that are given periodically at the end of the month, depending on of course, the agreement between the two parents and if they went to court as well. So then the question would be, but if I am already providing the basic needs, why do I need to provide child support? That is literally my child support. Unless you're trying to say the parent is doing it out of goodwill, and then at the end of the month, they will give money. Yes. So for me, in my opinion, I would say if I were the single parent and I am already, catering to his clothing, taking care of his medical bills, taking him for immunization, and I am constantly there, then that is my way of doing child support. But again, it goes back, I think, to the arguments that as parents you have come in conclusion to, but there is no reason as to why I should pay child support if I'm already looking after my child. Again, it goes back to what you agreed as parents and the court. Okay. If we agreed that you give me money, if you decide to take the child for immunization, if you decide to take him for birthday parties, that is on you, boss. You still bring the paycheck home.
Well, for me, so for you, so Shivan, I'm confused. Are you saying that even though you are paying all these other extra expenditures, within the month, you should still pay child support at the end of the month?
You should still pay child support if it's within the context of what you agreed on. That means what you're doing is out of your goodwill. If you agreed that you give me money, then the money must come through. If you decide to do all these other things, that is on you, because the money that you're giving me is supposed to cater towards those things that you're probably doing. So why are you doing them when you know that you're supposed to give me funding? Maybe you're doing it out of goodwill.
Or maybe you're asking again after being given child support at the end of the month. So I guess.
Well, for me, honestly, I feel like child support should be an agreement. But in a case where it's been taken to the courts of law, especially when one of the parents is deadbeat, but in most cases we see that it's usually the man. Rarely will it be a woman who is a deadbeat.
Oh my goodness, what do you mean rarely?
Well, I'm talking about the most of the cases that we have seen.
Do you have statistics?
The other day we were talking about the case of Tristan Thompson. Okay, let's focus on, because we're seeing most of this child support issue is in the Western world. It doesn't really apply in the Ugandan
really does,
setting.
actually,
it's
so
not
much
as
so.
effective in the Ugandan setting.
It actually is.
There's so many single mothers and single dads out there, actually. But
I'm talking about when you are taken to courts of law. We haven't seen cases where women have taken their deadbeat.
No, they have. They have. There
have been actually quite a number of cases, and also organizations that actually.
Okay, let me go back.
And
let me go back
actually
to the
child and custody law under the 1995 Constitution of Uganda, which was amended in 2016, actually. And it does state that a guardian or sole caregiver of a child is entitled to child support, and you can actually sue the other parent or the other, guardian for child support if they're not helping you in any other way.
The reason I'm saying this, the reason I'm saying this is on the scale of 10, if we are to really, the reality is on the scale of 10, it's about 1%. If anything, most of the women, especially in this country, have not been even sensitized enough to know that they have these rights, that they can actually go to courts of law and win this battle so that they can make their partners be able to pay child support. So many women are back in the villages, or even, when the father of their child is not in their life and is not giving any support, they focus on being the strong woman. They focus on being waking up every morning, going to work to make sure that their child is well. Rarely will you see them, being taking their deadbeat partners to courts of law. But going back to the issue of child support, for me, honestly, it's about agreement. I have seen scenarios where parents separate amicably, and then they agree, you know what, I will take care of this bill, I'll take care of that bill. And that is how it goes on. The mother chips in once in a while, and then the father chips in once in a while, depending on how much each parent is earning. Yes. So I feel like that is actually the more peaceful way of child support. But then again, if there is a deadbeat parent in the picture, it's okay to take them to courts of law, and the person that gets the physical custody of the child, who is mostly with the child. In the case of Black China, we have seen that she only gets to see her kids over the weekend, so they are usually with their dads. So there is no point in her receiving child support. For what? Because even on those days when the kids are with their mother, their father drops them off and then picks them up again, and probably drops them off with a little paycheck of, if in case the child needs this and this. So Black China or any other woman who is not fully present in their child's life does not deserve child support at all. Maybe if you're talking about you just need it for your own personal gains, if you're trying to extort the man, that's what it would be.
I would like to highlight a few things. One, I think the comments, the two phrases that you made that I think come from a point of privilege. This is the urban setting. Yes, the women in the urban setting know their rights. They know that they can take these men to court or vice versa. But let's take a look at the people in rural areas. Let's take a look at people like in the North region, deep down. Let's take a look at people in Eastern Uganda. Let's take a look at people down in Western Uganda. Do these women know their rights? Do these women know that when a man steps out of a marriage or when a man steps out of a relationship, they can actually go to court and sue? There are women who can afford. You talked about the fact that there are women who can say, oh, I'm able to take care of my child, and that is okay. Those are people who are privileged, but there are people who cannot afford. And you see, this is where I think men get it wrong. You paying child support, it is your obligation. You chose to walk out of the relationship. It should be your obligation as a person, and you shouldn't be reminded. Because when you were making the baby, you were too. All of a sudden, issues of finances have come in and taking the child to school. Now you want to put it on the mother. Why should it be that way? I think men and fathers especially need to stand up and up their game and support their children And by the way, it goes beyond just finances. It's quite unfortunate that there are women who have made this a source of income. Some women, however, there are women out there that actually do need this support. On their own, they cannot.
Well, a 2016 demographic and health survey in Uganda did state that 31% of households back then were headed by females. But the same survey was conducted again in 2019, and it said that 50% of households were headed by women. And by headed by women means that women are now the primary financial caregivers and providers of their homes. So Aggie, you said something that actually actually, you know, lit something up in my head. The word being strong. Yeah. I hate it when people say that a woman should be strong, take care of your children. I am not for this whole single mother propaganda and the movement that is going on. So I don't need a man to raise my children. You need that man to raise your child, because your child needs their father. All right, it could not be for financial benefits. Some women don't need the finances. They are able to comfortably take care of their child financially. But what about the emotional and psychological support that your child needs and that you need as a mother? Because I'm a mother and I know how hectic it can be. Yes. You get to have to bear the whole weight of having to raise your child by yourself, to instill values and principles and morals, and also answer their questions, because children are very curious. Sometimes you're not in the mood to be a mother. You're like, you know what, I need a day off. You know, give me a moment. I need to sleep. But you did say that, and then it triggered my mind. But then again, there's something that Siobhan that said that you made the child. Both of you made the child, so it should be a man's obligation. True, facts. In a perfect world, absolutely. But that's not the case, because you can't control another person's actions or feelings. Yes. You see, so I think women should learn to see the red flags. Eh?
It's not
the minute you see the one red flag like this, just run. This is the thing. Don't give any man for the privilege of being the father of your child. You get? Because we as women can pick our husbands or partners. Our children cannot pick their father. So now you are having a child with a man that you know firsthand is deadbeat. No, sometimes you know, because you're the one who is supporting
Maybe
him.
They're even neglecting you before
they're
you
neglecting you.
Pregnant. So what are the odds that, you know, they'll change their behavior when you're now pregnant and have a child? And then again, to supplement a little bit on what you said, sometimes when I'm not justifying it, but when you're in love, sometimes these red flags turn pink. You never see them as red.
That is the thing. Whether pink, purple, orange, please run. And also, this is vice versa. I'm not only just talking to women because I don't want men to feel like we are attacking them, but it's also about men, because there are some really great men out there who would make great fathers and who are actually great fathers, but now are being held at ransom by the mothers of their children, yes. And she's like, you will not see your child until you give me the money that I want. And I know women can be vindictive and very manipulative and very bitter. You've had the saying that a woman scorned.
Some are pushed to that extent, don't you
think? Understand? No, yes, some are pushed to that. There's that, but then there's also the flip side, where she's just a bitter woman who, number one, also wanted to have the child to trap the man who'd had the child without good intentions. They are there. We know them, but we're not going to mention their names.
And men should be careful as well.
There is something you highlighted in regard to child support. I think it is very important that we get to understand not only what child support is, but why we want this child support. For some women out there, they will use child support as a source of income. For other women out there, they'll actually use child support as blackmail. You have highlighted it yourself. The man comes, I want to see my child. No, please pay 200,000 naira. Have you equated your child to 200,000 Ugandan? Did I say naira? Why am I thinking about Nigeria? Why would you equate your child to 200,000 Ugandan shillings? Why? So I think for both women and men, we need to backtrack and understand this whole notion of child support. Why are we doing it? Are we actually having good intentions and we are saying that yes, we want to support our children and we want to be there for them? Or are we using it either as women or as men to attack the other partner? Because for some women and men, they do it as a way of attacking the other partner. Okay, you've left me, you face the consequences. You want to see your child, you'll cough up the money. No,
but
that is wrong.
I would like
that
to
is
add
wrong. And I will highlight, just a minute, I'll highlight this. According to the United Citizens Child Support Organization in Uganda, it estimated that over 50% of the women that are actually single mothers, well, single mothers, I mean the fathers, walked out of relationships, are actually going through situations where they have to blackmail their men to support them. So this organization actually provides support to them and helps represent them in court. So I think also for women out there, more sensitization, especially in rural areas, needs to be done for them to understand their rights, but also they do not have to be strong. There is no award for being a strong woman. It is okay for you to break. There is no reward for that. Yes, there is no reward. There is no. So it is okay for you to feel that you say, what? Enough is enough. I cannot support this child on my own and seek help. However, don't do it in the wrong avenues.
And also I would like to highlight something. I think people should actually be responsible, because we wouldn't be talking about child support if people were responsible. Why are you laying with just anyone? Well, there is family planning. And then again, I feel like women compromise so much for the men. Why isn't a man wearing protection at the end of it? Some men talk about, I do not like protection.
But for you, why aren't you wearing protection?
No, this is the thing. It's an individual social responsibility. Let's zero down to that.
So the man doesn't want to do it. Why
both
don't
of
you do
you
it as
should
a
be
woman?
responsible. If anything,
the man doesn't want to do it. Why don't you do it
let's
as a
talk
woman?
about Planned Parenthood before we actually even go to the whole
PP Global.
Yes, because both of you, by the time you want to, a child shouldn't be someone that comes, by people talk about a mistake. Why should a child be a mistake? These are things that you should sit down and talk. If you're in a relationship, talk about it. Are you ready to have kids? When should you have kids? Can you put, those extra cautionary measures to make sure that you don't get pregnant until you are ready? Because if you are not ready, that's where the child support will come in, because you will give birth and then the man probably has lost his job or he has no job at all, and then he becomes a deadbeat. And the love is no more, and now you have to fight for child support.
Let's be real here. Let's be real here.
Apart
from cases of rape and defilement, let's be real here. We'll say these things on TV and say, hey, have conversations, have protection. But how many times are we caught in the heat of the moment and we don't think about
that? Is where
you're supposed
to think.
Let us think rationally like adults.
But is that what happens in the heat of the moment?
Listen, again, you should not be acting in the heat of the moment, because there are consequences to it. Then you start saying, "Sijui mistake." You lay down with somebody. What did you expect? Popcorn? What are you talking about?
No bananas.
But there's somebody on Twitter who responded to this whole situation, and he's called Daniel Sanchez. And then he said, "The child has a right to live their life equally under both parents. It wouldn't be fair for the child to go from a mansion to the hood or the slums. So if one parent has a significant amount of more money than the other parent, courts should rule in favor of the richer parent to help provide an equal living balance." So if the woman is the richer person and she's living in a mansion, so the court should ask that woman to pay the man a sum of money that is going to give the child the same comfort.
If he's the one with physical custody.
Yes. So if the husband or the former partner was living in a slum somewhere, she should pay him enough money to move him to an upscale neighborhood. I think
this will make men lazy.
So the child,
we're just advocating.
We are advocating for laziness of men.
So the child can have a consistent mode of living, and vice versa. So that is what this person was saying, and I thought it was very interesting. So now for my follow-up question, I want to ask: child support, is it also beneficial to the caregiver, or is it just for the child? Do you think it should be just for the child or for the caregiver as well?
It does benefit the caregiver in the long run. Here's the thing: if I'm the mother of your child and you're paying me child support, if I'm buying milk, okay, look at this. Let me
say it the way you wanted to say it.
At the end of the day, I need to be well as well to be able to take care of my child. Unless I have a job, if I have no job and you're paying me,
but you're not supporting you.
It is called
child support.
How will I support my child if if I'm not in position, if I am sick.
Go to work.
No.
Then get ex-wife support. That is why, you see, this is the thing. That is why it is called child support. It is not called ex-wife support, ex-girlfriend support.
But we can't deny the fact that it does benefit the caregiver
that is
in
true.
the long
For very
run.
many people, they benefit from it.
Yes,
however,
absolutely.
that is not the way it's supposed
that
to
shouldn't
be.
be the main reason why you get child support, but we cannot deny the fact that it does actually help the caregiver in the long run. If I'm the one driving the car that you have bought for me, probably through child support, you bought me a car, you know, to take your child to school, I will benefit from it. I have to fuel the car, I have to service the car. So in one way or another, it will benefit me. I'll be using the car, you know, to drive to go meet up other people.
But of all things, you're thinking
will
of
benefit
child
me
support given to you through
no,
a car.
that shouldn't be the core reason. That's why I said it shouldn't be the core reason. But it does help the caregiver in the long run. Again, I think it's a stingy man who would say, I just want this money to only benefit my child. I carried this child for 9 months. Look at this. If I'm a good woman, I'm taking care of your child. I'm actually not giving you stress.
It is your obligation.
Except for the case of Black
China.
Except for the case of Black China, you know, who comes off as, please give me this money. I'm taking care of your child. If I'm a good woman, I am a good baby mama. Let me actually put it that way. You should be able actually to be appreciative that, so that money benefit me in one way, unless I'm married to someone else. If I'm not married, if I'm still single and just taking care of your child, it should benefit me.
And this is the other question. Now, in the event the other parent has other children from other partners, should the other children benefit from the child support that Daddy A is sending for child A?
That wouldn't be fair. The child support is to this child, not to the other.
Look at it in this way. Imagine the other child that this caregiver has is not being supported by their parent, other parent, all right? And the event that you as the caregiver, as the person who is paying child support, say, is sending gifts or, things for your child.
Yeah.
What about the other one? And the others don't have. Don't you think that's a very tricky situation? So shouldn't they at least, for what would Jesus do in this moment? Give everybody
this in this situation. But definitely, well, unless the man is a generous man. Okay, why am I even focusing on just men? It could be the woman. Maybe if that partner is generous. There's those who are generous and, are goodwill people. Is that the word?
Yes.
So they will, while they are sending your child child support, it could be gifts, they will also send something small for the other kids, because at the end of the day, those are your child's siblings. You cannot deny that, and it will stand forever. So for the generous people, they will, and for the bitter ones, they'll be like, no, I'm only taking care of my child. But put yourself in a situation, you are the woman, you are the mother, and you have probably three baby daddies, and there's only one who is actually giving child support, definitely for their child. Would you be in a position where you're only taking care of the other child and you cannot take care of the rest? Definitely not. So in one way or another, it will have to benefit all the kids. But of course, it will be unfair on this one man who is, sending child support
doing the
most, and it's, benefiting the deadbeat kids.
I hear the deadbeat kids' parents. The way you say that. Well, anyway, the law imposes, that is the law on custody and maintenance of children in Uganda, does say that the law imposes a duty on the parent, guardian, or any person having custody of a child to maintain that child. Well, the duty of the parent to maintain gives a child a right to education and guidance, immunization, adequate diet, that is food, clothing, shelter, and medical attention, and also education. Now, this is the thing. You can actually face jail time or hefty fees if you not pay your child support. That is in the event if the one parent does take you to court and file or apply for child support. And this is how you can do it. So where should I put in a bit of information on where you can go to file an application for custody or child maintenance. And then it says that child custody is filed in the Family and Children's Court and is presided over a magistrate not below the grade of magistrate grade 2. And actually, family court is in Makindye. That is where you can find it. And then it also says also lets you know who is able to apply for the custody or maintenance or child support of a child, and this is a parent or guardian of the child and or an institution or organization. So for instance, the institution or organization, it could be a school, it could be an orphanage, it could be even local government can sue a parent and, you know, ask you to have to pay child support for them. And then who it can be applied against, and this is can be applied against a mother, a father, or guardian of the child. So right now, it is not just about that Timbo, it is, you know, it is only suited to fathers. Also mothers and even guardians say in the event that the child has lost both parents, then there's a next of kin. It could be the grandmother, it could be an older sibling, it could be an aunt and uncle, or whoever the case may be. So yeah, so ladies, moving on, how much do you think is, you know, sufficient enough for child support a month?
Are we talking about Ugandan shillings?
We're talking about Ugandan shillings.
In the Ugandan system, and according actually to the Children's Act, and even still what happens in the court proceedings, they state that the child support that is rendered is usually determined by how much income the other parent earns and how much is able to provide. Because if I am earning, say, 300 shillings, 300,000 shillings per month, then you do not expect me to give you child support of 300,000 shillings. I'll give you less. So usually child support is determined, even in the US, even in other states, is determined by how much the other parent earns or even has or is able to give. But also it is determined by the age of the child, because different age brackets have different desires. If it's a teen, it goes way bigger. If it's a child, it's even way bigger, because you have to look diapers, you take medical care, it's immunization, it's all these things, it's a whole thing. So the age and also what the income of the other parent is determinant.
And also the law in Uganda does state that a child is obligated to have child support until the age of 18, because in Uganda you are officially an adult after you have turned 18, so you pay child support until the child's 18th birthday, and after that you are a free person. I could spend your money the way you want.
Because it is prison for some people, it is.
What about you, Aggie?
I think child support should depend on the needs at hand. I'm talking about housing, I'm talking about utilities, it could be tuition, it could be clothing and all those things. That should be the determinant of how much child support a parent should render to the other parent. Because while you're earning 300,000, it may be little, but then again, your child has to go to school. So you have to find means. You have to
First
find
of
means
all,
to
you
pay
have
tuition.
no business having a child if you earn 300,000.
So you're
I'm
earning
just put that
300,000. Your child has to dress up. Your child has to eat. Your child has to sleep. So you have to find other, I don't know, create other streams of income so that you can be able to afford to take care of your child. That shouldn't be an excuse of you earn 300,000 shillings.
You have no business having children with somebody who earns 300K.
That's how Planned Parenthood comes in handy.
I don't mean that to sound insensitive or condescending, but that is the fact. Because you're going to, number one, how are you going to be able to even maintain your pregnancy along the way? How are you going to feed? Who is going to take care of you? Do you understand? I wish ladies would stop being so comfortable just
laying with
just not
making
even,
babies.
It's not even about laying. It's just having babies with any man, because Imbu, he's cute. Bimbo, he's tall.
I want a half custody.
I want a cute baby.
Those things that he's rich. Ladies, please raise your standards. At the end of the day, listen. It is not a privilege to have a child if you're not going to rise up to the occasion and be a good mother, a responsible mother, you know, a mother that this child deserves and needs. I mean, put your selfish needs aside before having a child, because then now you're going to have problems like this, having to deal with child support. Why are you chasing somebody around to do something that they're supposed to do?
That they don't want to do.
Exactly. And I don't say that from a place of ignorance. I know what it's like to be in that situation, having to chase somebody around for child support, having to remind somebody, please come see your baby, come do this, come do that. It's very frustrating, and there's no power in that. That is not strength, that is weakness, because you made a very irresponsible decision, and there are consequences that are going to affect an innocent child, not you. You get me? It's anyway.
Bitter truth.
If you need more information on how to sue someone or how to apply for child support, I'd kindly request that you visit this website, and this is where I got this information from. It's called the Electronic Legal Assistance Center. I repeat, it's called the Electronic Legal Assistance Center, and it's for information, tools, and resources to resolve common legal issues. Or you could just go and visit Child and Family Court, Makinde. It is at the market in Makinde, just opposite the market in Makinde. Just go, inquire, and you can even request for assistance, and they'll advise you and guide you properly. You can also just visit a number of NGOs in Uganda. There is FIDA.
Yes.
That is the Uganda Association of Women Lawyers. You can actually also visit them and get some information from them, and they will help you and tell you how to go about it. Then there's also the NGO that Shivan talked about. It's called United Citizens Child Support Organization Uganda. Absolutely. There's also Uganda Charity Organization. There's Shrines Children's Foundation, and there's Girl Child Network Uganda. They St. Anne Foundation. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. But ladies, my advice to you before I go is that kindly, please, let's ditch the word strong. Please make responsible choices. And I also talk to the men right now. Please make responsible choices. Please choose very carefully who the parent of your child is going to be, because you have the luxury of picking the other parent, but your child doesn't have that luxury. So please be wary of all these red flags. Agi say that they turn pink when you're in love. Please stop thinking with your heart. Leave it alone. It is there to pump blood. Think with your head. Use logic. And don't bring a child into this world until you're absolutely sure and guaranteed that you are ready to deal with the challenges that come with raising a child. Please raise to the occasion, because our children do not deserve this hassle. Your child doesn't deserve the hassle of having you, the parent, beg the other parent to pay child support. It's absolutely ridiculous to me, I think.
And wouldn't be having this conversation today if adults just made their stand and made responsible decisions as a man, as a woman. Make responsible decisions.
Adults should act like adults. I am so hard
adults acting like kids. Adults should act like adults and leave the children to act like children. Stop involving children in your mess. If you decide to make a mistake, please be ready to carry your cross all the way.
Something I need to say about this is, and actually because it's women that usually fall victim of this whole child support situation, women should actually be able they should be keen on who they choose, especially in the date when they're dating. Learn that person. Because a man who is not responsible, who does not take care of you, who is not generous while they are dating you, they will not change when you have a child.
That is true.
That is where you find women will actually get a rich man and, baby trap him because you think his rich is going to give you that money, and you're just there suffering because the man is actually not generous. So be keen about who you date and be very intentional to learn and to know who that person is before you can actually think of laying down with them and making babies with them, because people never change. If they do not change, or if they do not act, well, or if they're not good people while you are dating, chances are they will never change even when you have kids.
Exactly.
So be keen about who you date. Please.
And even to the men, please don't stop having this stereotype in your head that all women are nurturers by nature, or are all, mother type. She's so beautiful, she'll make a good mother. No, some women,
wife material.
Or some women do not have this motherly instinct on nurturing, traits or personality. So do not make that assumption. Please get to know the people that you choose to have children with on a deeper level, and don't have children until you're ready to have a child. Make the cautious decision. And it's actually very important, because I always say this a lot. You cannot control another person's actions. So when you choose to have a child, be prepared to carry that responsibility by yourself, because it may not be a case of child support. It may be a case of they pass away, and then what? You get?
Yeah, you have to be ready for the worst.
You have to be ready for the worst. So if you are earning 300K, my dear, you have no business having children.
I'm dead serious. They talk about baby fever every time. You're looking at this beautiful baby and baby fever. the cost that comes with having a child are way too much.
You know, I saw a meme that said that if you have baby fever, take a nap. If you enjoyed that nap, don't have children. You're not ready, because when you have kids, you're never going to sleep. They're always up. Well, that's all I had for you on this segment of our views, but the conversation continues on our social media, and that please connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and also on YouTube. If you missed this segment of Sunrise at Sea, you can catch us again on our YouTube channel, and it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel later on in the afternoon, so you can watch it. Please comment, let me know. Are you struggling with child support? Have you been in a situation where you have to chase the other parent for child support? How did you handle it? Perhaps you have a good lawyer. Please recommend to the people in the comments, because this is actually a big problem, not just in Uganda but world over, where we have women now leading households, and some of them are saying they are strong, good on them, but there are a number of other women who are not strong and do need the support and help. And not even just women, why do I keep saying that? And also single fathers, because I also know a lot of single fathers who need the assistance of the other parent, and they have no idea what they're doing. It doesn't have to be financial all the time, but it's also emotional. Emotional support goes a long way. Just to be there, you know, stay up at night when the child is, you know, being fussy, or, you know, go to school on sports days or visitation days, you know, talk to your child, just visit your child. There's so much, it goes a long way. It's not only just about finances, but it's also emotion, and also knowing that your child feels loved. Okay, so let us break this cycle, these generational curses that were passed down to us, and let us be better. Let adults start acting like adults. Bye.
Well, you are still watching Sunrise at Sea here on SEETV. Thank you for joining us on the show today. It's been amazing having you all the way from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. From the ladies and I and the team as well. But before we go, I'd like to give you a word of advice. It's a chilly day, so remember to be warm. You can grab yourself a cup of coffee, or you can get a jacket to be warm. Yes. From the ladies and I and the team as well, we wish you a wonderful day.